Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your Bitcoin show. I'm really glad to have you guys here. Now, I want to point out something. You know, capital is in search of a home right now. This is why they've been buying bonds so extensively, U.S. Treasuries. The thing is it's searching for yield. Now, what does that mean? It means that there's still liquidity in the system. And that liquidity is searching for yield awfully bad. They're willing to go in and buy things that are ridiculous assets. Bonds from countries that have... Anyway, they're searching for yield. They'll take anything. Anything that's outperforming everything else. They'll take it. They don't care. They really don't care. They don't care about the technical aspects and stuff. They just want something that's performing good and that's going to give them some yield. Well, you know, lately, the big guys, the big fish out there, they've been going long Bitcoin. You know, and we're seeing the results. We're seeing an asset class that's starting to outperform other asset classes. So now let's get started. Let me get my charts up. Open a chart right here, and let's take a look at what's going on. You know, Bitcoin, 54.68 this morning. It's up 2% on the day. Actually, over 2%, 2.11%. And let me refresh the chart. Oh, now it's 2.54%. It just went up some more. Almost a half a percentage point more. Just from a couple minutes ago, I was getting ready to do my show, and I started this chart up. I mean, it just went up that quick. Cryptocurrency market capitalizations, 176.7 billion. Let me just refresh the page. 177.4 billion. There, gained another $1 billion just that quick. It's doing really well. I'm almost thinking that we're going back into the bull market. As soon as it crosses 6,500, I'll say, hey, you know what? I think we're back in the bull market. But I'm kind of holding off just a little bit longer, waiting and seeing what it's going to do. But it's looking awfully good, you know. Two of the coins I love, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and there's a reason why I love those two coins. It's the way they're set up. They're set up for HODL. They're both very deflationary coins. This means a lot if something's deflationary or inflationary. They are so deflationary, they're like a deflationary black hole compared to the fiat currencies, which can't be anything but inflationary. So what we see is, we see this constant movement upwards. Okay, it goes into a bubble. The bubble pops, it falls. Everybody says Bitcoin's no good anymore because it popped, the bubble popped. Oh, it's going to die. Every time they keep doing this same old mantra over and over again. It's going to die, it's going to die. We've been waiting for it to die since 2009, and all we've seen is growth. Growth in the crypto industry, growth in Bitcoin itself, growth in the cryptocurrencies. For these people that are waiting for it to die, I think sooner or later they're going to be on the wrong end of the stick, you know. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin, how it's performing. Bitcoin has been outperforming gold and the S&P so far this year. Well, you know, it's not going to go unnoticed by investors. And the longer it's performing good and the higher it goes, then the more capital is going to chase it. And the more investors are going to start to notice it, and they're going to say, hey, you know what? I should have hopped on that Bitcoin train back when it was 3,000. Now it's 6,000 or whatever, right? So then they decide to hop on. Then it goes up higher. And the higher it goes, the more of them flood in. Ultimately, it leads to it going into a bubble, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to be hard for you guys. It's going to be hard for me. It's going to be hard for everybody to find the top of that bubble. I'll tell you right now what my plan is. Gold's going to continue to be suppressed. I'm almost certain of it. So when Bitcoin finds this next bubble, gold's going to be right down on its rock bottom. Probably, might even be a little bit lower than it is right now. And Bitcoin's going to be on the moon. well, the Bitcoin bubble will pop. It will pop just like it's always done. You know, and gold probably will be still down there after the Bitcoin bubble pops. So if you want to ride Bitcoin all the way to the top of this next bubble, and you want to ride it all the way back down again to the bottom, you can. That's your option. Right? But me, I'm going to try to find the top of this bubble, and I'm going to try to bounce off from Bitcoin into gold, and not even go near fiat. Not even going to touch fiat. Not even going to go near it. Just going to trade one commodity for another. That's my plan anyway. So I'm trying right now. I'm in accumulation phase. I'm trying to get myself some Bitcoin. And you know, it hurts because it's expensive. Even at these prices, it's expensive to buy Bitcoin. Here in Canada, it costs about $100 just to get 1/100th of a Bitcoin. $100 just for 1/100th. So that's the kind of money I can afford, just to buy like 1/100th here and 100th there, and you know. But they're adding up. I'm slowly gaining ground on that on a Bitcoin, on one Bitcoin. And the thing is when this top of this market comes, if I can make the trade at the right time, trade off into gold, and let Bitcoin ride all the way down to the bottom, and then I can switch back into Bitcoin again when it's hit bottom of the next bull run. Because I think it's going to do this a couple more times. Maybe this bull market going into a bubble and then popping. Each subsequent time it does it, it's going to go higher and higher and higher. You know? If you can make the trades at the right time, it's all about timing, and you got to be, for this game, you've got to be very, very patient. But you have to understand on the other side of that patience, if you do it properly, is going to yield you results. Results come from patience in this world. You have to be patient. And I'm thinking that this is not going to really heat up for another 2 or 3 more months. Maybe 4 months. It might even take a little bit longer before it really starts to heat up and go into this next hyper bubble, this next super monster bubble it's going to go into. I'm going to shock you guys a little bit. I think this next monster bubble is going to carry it up past the 20,000 mark, the old top, and it's going to keep right on shooting up there. That's my personal opinion on it. So this article here says Bitcoin has been outperforming gold and the S&P so far this year. Investors are going to notice this. It says Bitcoin, the flagship cryptocurrency, has so far this year been outperforming the market's benchmark index at S&P 500, as well as commodities like gold. Well, it wasn't hard for it to outperform gold, I'll tell you that. Gold is not doing good right now, you know. The price suppression continues. Gold is deflationary like Bitcoin, and gold is eventually anything that's deflationary with this coming hyperinflation that's coming is going to do very, very well indeed. So gold is going to do very, very well indeed. You know, ultimately, in the end. But it's going to have to break free of this price suppression. This is, as some believe, last year's bear market is now behind us. According to Yahoo Finance data, Bitcoin is up over 45% so far this year, while the S&P 500 saw its value rise by nearly 17%. The NASDAQ is an index that tracks the stock prices of giants like Amazon, Facebook, and Google. Oh my goodness, these companies like, you know, Amazon, Facebook, Google, and everything, oh, they're so overpriced, so oversold, it's ridiculous. But this is what put the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and everything up. This is why they're up, you know. Also, it had an awful lot of stock buybacks, you know, this year and everything. It says Bitcoin's performance this year has likely been aided by what some believe was the bottom of 2018's bear market seen in December, while the cryptocurrency hit 3,200 after falling from a nearly 20,000 all-time high in late 2017. I'll tell you what I think we're going to see, guys. I think we're going to see the big boom in the price of Bitcoin come in the last quarter of this year. And I think what's going to happen, I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think what we're going to actually see is Bitcoin passing its old top, shooting right on by it, doubling it, even tripling it, its old top, in price, maybe even quadrupling its old high in price, and a mania coming, a mania toward the end of the year. And I think what's going to happen is by Christmas time, I think Bitcoin is going to be getting up probably into nosebleed territory. And I think that in 2020, Bitcoin is going to be the poorest performing asset class of everything. I think because the bubble's going to burst in 2020, you know. And I think it's going to be the poorest performing class in that year. And so then we're probably going to have to wait another year or something, or 2 years even, for the next bubble to come. But the next bubble, when it comes, is going to even be bigger. Every time they're bigger, you know. And that following bubble is probably going to be the one that takes down the entire world's financial system. And that bubble won't burst. Bitcoin won't burst. It'll be the final bubble. Not this next bubble that's coming, but the one after that is going to be the final bubble. Bitcoin's going to go into a bubble, but it's going to destroy all of the fiat currencies and everything. And what's going to happen is the wealth transfer is going to occur over into this new asset class. And that's when I believe that Bitcoin is really going to shine. But if you can play these bust and boom cycles in Bitcoin, you can really do well. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.